Okay, this video is going to be on overcoming fear and anxiety. I'm going to be providing you with a three-step plan to help you eliminate your fears and hopefully your anxiety along with it. It's only a 20-minute exercise, but it will help you alleviate most of the fear you have surrounding an action that you know you should be taking. And so the first thing we need to do is actually define our nightmare scenario. If this is an action we know we should be doing, why are we not doing it? So we need to understand why we aren't. So we're going to write down every single thing we're possibly scared of surrounding this event. What is the worst things that could happen if we do it? And what you'll notice through doing this is you'll have many, many, many things to be scared of. But this is where your brain is playing tricks on you. It's where your brain's being a little bit stupid because the brain looks at the volume of things you're scared of and equates that to fear. It may see 10 or 15 things that could go wrong with this possible thing, but what it doesn't fully consider to the same extent is the probability of it happening, or even the impact that thing coming true may have on you. So now that we've defined our nightmare, we've written down absolutely everything that we could be possibly scared of, what we're then going to do is ask ourselves the question, what can we do to correct this? Say this single piece of the nightmare happens, what could I do to correct my course and get back on track? Because the action must be done. We know the action should be done, I guess, but we're considering the action to be complete at this point. And so, if this fear comes true, how could I then correct it? How likely is it that that fear even comes true? What impact does that fear have on me? What impact does that fear have on the action? In the nightmare section, as I'll call it, you would have written down all of your doubts, fears, and insecurities surrounding this thing that you must do. In this section, we're then going to talk about damage recovery. How could you correct yourself back on course? Can you try again? Can you do it over? Is this a one-time thing that has happened? Most likely not. The next step after that is then, what are the benefits if you complete this action? If you complete this action and none of the fears come true, because our brain thinks a lot more in fear than it does the benefits most of the time. We're worried about the repercussions a lot more than the rewards at times. And in terms of actions that you know you should do, we're always, always worried about the fear and the anxiety that comes from it. So what are the benefits to you if you actually complete that action? Write down every single one, just like you did for the nightmare scenario. And for these ones, think about the probability of them happening, just as we did for the nightmare, and think about the impact of them happening, just like the nightmare. Because what you'll notice is that the nightmare, they're all incredibly low probability of actually coming true, or most likely to be lower, and the impact that it actually has long term is very low. If we look at the benefits, it completely flips. There may only be a small number of benefits from completing the action, but their impact and the chance of happening are much, much higher. And this is where your fears just instantly disappear. Once you've written this down and you've allowed yourself to write down what your brain isn't fully considering at all times in the moment, you'll realize that your brain is playing tricks on you. Fear, as some people may have said, is an illusion because it's just there guarding you from doing the things you know you should be doing. And so that's the three-step plan. Consider your nightmare. What is the worst thing that can happen? What could I do to repair the nightmare? And finally, what are the long-term benefits from completing the action I know I should be doing? The last point that I'm going to leave you with is another exercise you could do if you'd like. And so this exercise is writing down what will happen if you don't do it. Yes, you don't experience the nightmare scenario, or you don't experience the chance of seeing the nightmare scenario, but you guaranteedly never receive the benefits. And not only that, you may incur more negative effects over time. If you know that you should be going to the gym, and you're like worried about gym anxiety, you're worried about what people will think of you, but you never go to the gym, you're never going to improve. You're never going to get to the body or the physique that you wanted to achieve. And so what was the point? The negative repercussions of that is that you deteriorate. you get worse over time. And that's not what we're looking for. We're looking at the small incremental wins, the aggregation of wins every single day to the point of where we're stacking wins week on week on week on week. And that's what we're looking to do. So I hope this 3-step plan works out for you. And it should only take you about 20 minutes. Remember, you're going for entirely volume. Across the nightmare section, you want every bit of every section of fear that you've ever had about this topic. In the repair bit, think about every possible way you can repair it. And then finally, in the benefits. And that's where you also need to go for volume. Write down every benefit that could come from it. I hope this helps you. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments. And yeah, thank you very much.